What's up guys, welcome back to Lameville. It's episode number 10 of the channel. I'm ChasingLamely, and we've got a fire raging that I hadn't spotted before. That's good times. Today we've had some issues with, well, not having enough industry for a start, but also none of our stores seem to be able to find enough goods to sell, which is quite useful in a commercial area. So, ironically as I say that, the old automatic cutscene thing is giving us a guided tour of all our industrial areas, which is not as pretty as we hoped. So, now we've finally got a nice view of the city, let's go back, let's see what we can achieve by going out of this and going into this. So, I've had this area here kind of set up for a long time that was just holding a bunch of power stuff, and there was a university that no one was really using, and a whole bunch of stuff, and I thought we need some goods. You can kind of see if I zoom out, we tend to have, anywhere there is a commercial area, we tend to have a need for goods. Things like, it will stop being a bit slow today, which has been a problem. Apologies, the video came out late, by the way. I've had issues with things just not being the computer not running as well as it possibly should be. Yeah, we have the not enough goods to sell appearing on a lot of buildings, which tends to mean that we need to have more generic industrial areas. And every industrial area I have is quite specifically for one thing or another, for oil or for wood or for whatever it might be. So I thought we'd take this area here that I've already kind of got set up, and we'll get an intersection put on this highway here, and maybe we'll start building an industrial area there. So that was kind of the plan that I was working with, and yeah, so let's get building there, I guess. I'm gonna have to get rid of this highway if it will actually let me delete, because I've told it to bulldoze. It didn't do the bulldozing. So if we bulldoze, say, this section here, we'll just clear out a nice section here. I haven't downloaded a whole bunch of intersections, by the way, on this save on deliberately, because I've known the computer's been struggling for a little while, so I've not really wanted to take too many risks with things. But if I just slide that in there, yeah, it felt like it was a mistake to put more pressure on the game than I needed to. We should put that there, and we'll tidy up these highway roads, because you know they look ugly, and we're not about that ugly life, except when I make intersections myself, at which point we have no choice but to be about the ugly life, because I, as we know, cannot build nice intersections. I don't know why. I need to find some kind of intersection building tutorial, I think. Either way, yeah, we're going to use this standard 3-lane highway. We're going to just build into it. I don't know which way around these roads are going. We're on left-hand drive, aren't we? We are on left-hand drive. So yeah, that's kind of the plan. So if we line up there, maybe. It's 176. It's important to remember the angles, because otherwise things will go awfully wrong. And then same here, we'll go to 176 as well. Line up there, 176, perfect. And then they should stay approximately parallel. They have done, perfect. That's gone better than I hoped it would. And then we'll just slide that across there, and we'll slide that across there. It'll be a little bit weird, but it'll be fine. It shouldn't slow down the cars too much. And then eventually I'll put some kind of junction on here as well, I think. But I don't know if one will squeeze in there. It seems unlikely, doesn't it? It seems incredibly unlikely I'll squeeze a junction there where I need there to be one, because that would be just too easy. If I line that up there, it will maybe go, maybe. No, we'll leave it for now. We'll leave it. We can figure out how to make that road system work when we need to. Instead, what I will in fact build is I'm going to find a small roundabout, because small roundabouts make the cars go round. I could, by the way, as I've sort of said this before, I could use Roundabout Builder for doing this, but when you're just kind of generically plopping a roundabout, it's not necessarily the best idea, especially if you want to do things like, that's made a massive hill in the middle, don't know why, especially when you want to do things like trying to connect up highways to it. It's often better just to use one of the pre-designed ones and then fix the traffic things on it later in Traffic Manager. Brace the old roundabout, because that's always the safest way of doing things before you start playing with it. Just make sure we will turn that up into a 3-lane highway as well. Why not? Why not make the entire roundabout 3 lanes? That makes all the sense in the world to me, and hopefully all the sense in the world to you. Otherwise, we're all doing this very wrongly. We're all doing this very wrongly if this doesn't make sense. We'll bring that one right into here. Maybe if it will let me. If it's going to be generous and let me. Come on, we'll go round into that, and there should be a node here to tack onto. Slope too steep. Well, that's not ideal, is it? Let's see if it'll let me do it from this side. You'd think it would. You'd hope it would, and then we can just turn it around later. Why does it think that slope is too steep? That doesn't make any sense at all. Okay, we can fix that too. We have ways of doing that. So if we use the Move It mod, and hopefully it will let me select a whole bunch of these nodes. Hopefully. Looks like that's worked, and we'll just page them down. Hopefully that'll level itself out. Just gonna get a ground view. What has that done to that roundabout? What has that done? Okay, that didn't work at all, did it? That did not work even in the slightest bit. Alright, what we'll do is we'll try that the old-fashioned way then. We will delete the entire roundabout. The entire roundabout deleting will be very expensive, but it's going to be the best way of doing this, I think, because that's now flattened the land off. We will bring these highway roads up a little bit further to say, let's put it on a straight road so I know what I'm doing. We'll bring it up to about there, bring another one back to there. And what we'll do is we'll connect those. We'll make as though we're going to connect them into this. We're not actually going to directly connect them into this 6-lane road, but we'll make it look good. Put a little crossroads in there. Put one out there as well. I said we'll make like we're going to do that, but that's almost certainly what I'll actually end up doing. Now I've given it actual thought. That's almost certainly what I'm doing. Just needs to be inside city limits. It's not important that it's that close because we'll build off of it as best we can. Let us actually connect those roads up to the end of here, because that makes sense somehow. How is that? I don't understand how that slope's too steep. I just don't. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense, Captain. It does not make sense. All right. Being bad at building with Chasing Lamely. Coming to a thing near you eventually. There we go, right. Hopefully that will do the job. And then if I apply the roundabout builder, hopefully it will give me that 3-lane highway, will it? There we go. Put that in there. Come on. There we go. Right. And how big do I want this roundabout to be? Approximately that big. Yeah. And then hopefully, if I delete those last bits of highway there, after bracing it, because I'm not a madman, I know something bad will happen if I don't brace it. I know everything bad will happen if I don't brace it, if I'm honest, but you know, we'll see what happens. Oh, come on. Bite the thing, there we go, bit the node. Slope too steep. Why use it? Why? Okay. Determined to make this work. I'm so determined to make this work that it's unreal. What is in the way there? Just stuck a little bit of road randomly. It has. It stuck a little bit of road randomly under my highway, under my roundabout. I did not want to be there. Right. Let's see if we've learned an important lesson. We might have done. We might have learned an important lesson here. Right. We're going to bring that round into here. There we go. Perfect. Bring that one round into there. Why is slope too steep? Why? I'm going to bring this round as best I can into the hut. I'm going to make it work and make it look pretty later. That's my plan now. My plan right now is just to make this look pretty later, as having an autosave, just to make life even more difficult for me. Because why wouldn't you want to make my life even more difficult than it's already been today? Come on, let's get this autosave done with, because we don't need to be hanging around all day. I think the trouble it's having is the city is of such a size now that it's just taking forever to save everything. Right, that's gone round into there, and then we can tidy up this junction by hopefully letting me do some deleting. Hopefully. Yeah, we'll bring that round into the node there. It's tidy-ish. It's tidy enough to do the job we need it to do. That's the important thing right now, and we can fix the rest later. So yeah, we're going to turn all of this into our kind of industrial highway area, which is going to be quite nice. We'll keep bringing this. I like the tree 6-lane road. It just looks nice. It doesn't really have to serve a function, bar looking nice, and I'll fix that in a second. And then that just kind of gives me something I can work off with the smaller roads to build us in. In fact, let's just do some deletion very quickly, because there are little bits here that we just need to tidy up. Tidying up is always fun, no matter what your mother tells you as a kid. You're supposed to believe that. Right, get rid of those. These will still figure into what we're doing, so don't think I've completely forgotten what I'm trying to achieve with this. It's just I need to make that look a bit tidy to save some space. Slope too steep. Okay, well that's interesting. All of our slopes are too steep right now. We're going to bring that straight down off of there, and we'll just curve it in as best we can using whatever we have available to us. So bring that there, curve that in. That will keep that tidy, and then I can find a way to connect that up. I'm not going to directly connect it there because I think that would be a mistake. We'll connect that in a second. We need to just. The thing with industrial areas is it doesn't matter too much if it's not well, it doesn't matter too much if it's not pretty. It just needs to be kind of a bit gritty. So we're just going to kind of go off of these. We're using the 4-lane roads for the roads coming off of the 6-lane road because you always want your roads to get smaller as you get further away from a main road. That's kind of a key thing. And I will attach that to this area, but I don't think it will actually attach directly to the main road. I think that would be a mistake. So yeah, we're just going to do that, and I guess that's the best connecting we can do. And we'll go back down to these roads for all of the roads in between, because, like I said, we're just going to kind of go a little bit gritty with it, because that's going to be the nicer, the more straightforward way of approaching this. So we'll just turn that into a grid. We'll turn this into a grid, and hopefully by the time traffic gets to this point, it should hopefully have dispersed, or dispersed enough that you're not causing yourself issues down the line. In fact, I'm going to cut that end off there just to tidy that up a little bit. And then yeah, just in here we can have all these roads coming off to make ourselves have enough room to do things with them. Because we don't want to have every road connected up to everything going through. That just it doesn't really ever work in my experience to have every road just kind of connecting way through. You just end up causing a lot more traffic jams than you would have done otherwise. And I'm surprisingly not about causing traffic jams. Despite the fact before I hit record, I spent solidly an hour maybe trying to just fight traffic jams, just fighting traffic jams. Because for some reason I've managed to create quite a few. I don't know how I've done it, so I've been unpicking a lot of things that I've done and putting them back together, and so on and so forth. I'm going to keep this end bit here, and try and figure out how I connect it up to this highway, because I think that's going to be a really useful way to get things in. It might even just be a case of I run a couple of slip roads in just to keep that looking good. But I'm going to do that in just a second. I will run those slip roads off just so I've got a way into and out of there, and hopefully that won't destroy the shape of my roundabout too much, but at least that gives us a way of getting people, once we connect this highway, it will give us a way. Why are you going out of city? Why would you want to go out of city limits there? That's not helpful at all. That does not help me, game. Does not help me. Can I bring it in there? Why do you want to go out of why? Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that later, because that's not going to play at all right now. And you know, we're on a clock. Let's put in some water supply, because having that water supply in there is probably going to keep people quite happy. And hopefully by having this connected up to the highway as well, and it should get people in and out very quickly, which obviously is what you always want. But also we need to get those goods out to all the commercial areas as fast as we possibly can. And I've got a feeling, and not necessarily a particularly good feeling, that what I'm actually going to do is cause a traffic jam on this road here once people can get to it, because I've not connected it up yet, because even though I talked about it, apparently I forgot about it. Yeah, I don't want to make too much hassle getting people out of the city that way, but you know, we will cross that bridge, literally bridge, as we come to it. Let's take that road and we'll connect up to, can we connect up to the bridge? Yeah, let's connect up to the bridge, why not? That feels like a way to make that work. Connect up to that bridge and then we can have another load of things coming off there, and that should work out nicely. So we can put, I think I've already got a trash thing there. That is a trash dealing thing, isn't it? An incineration plant, perfect. That should take care of that, so we're going to fill that in. Don't know why the game's on pause, because we don't really need it to be on pause. Oh, it was on pause because I was doing things, I remember, I was doing things with highways and I didn't want people to go flying into the ether. So we'll fill in all this. Just block fill it, because it doesn't really matter too much either way. Also, it gives the people who live on the estate up here a place to work, which would be nice for them, because at the moment they're having to drive quite a way to find places to work. So I would expect, because there's nowhere really industrial or even office based near them, so this should achieve that quite nicely, and hopefully that will start filling in quite quick, because we do have a demand for industry. Hopefully we've taken care of it by doing that. I'll put in a couple of services there as well, because they're going to be needed. What kind of things? We'll put a med clinic in just in case anyone has any nasty accidents at work. We don't encourage it, but it happens, we've all been there. This one can go there, maybe that should just about give it enough coverage for now, and then we'll throw a police station in on the other side of the junction, and that again should give it enough coverage to keep things going. It's apparently made those guys happy too, which is very nice. Okay, we're going to let that fill in whilst we tackle other things. Let's speed up the game, see how that starts coming in, because the next thing we have to do once we've established all of our industry here is people need a place to live. And I'm probably going to extend this this housing area up here out, because it just seems wasteful not to, because people can easily get here to work, which will fill it in. People can easily get from here to work as well. So yeah, just be a nice way to have things going on. So I'm going to let that fill itself in off camera, and then we'll come back and we'll start building a housing area over here, because that feels like the right way forward. Right, so our new area has started to fill in, but what we're seeing is we have a lot of need for people to come and work. So we need to go and build that housing area. We need to go and build that fast, because we cannot support the number of new jobs we've just created, which is a great position to be in, but also a horrible position to be in. So I'm going to build it here. That was kind of my plan all along, because that feels like the right place for it to go. So we're going to take this 6-lane road, because that feels like the right one to do. Let's put it on the not upgradey road tool, and let's bring that all the way to the border here, because we are intending to build off this way later on, to build like a kind of coastal road. So it just gives us a nice little boundary, and we'll just drag that straight in there, because why not? And apparently that's a hill, and I should have seen that. That's okay, we'll make that work. We'll make that work for us somehow, some way. In fact, that gives us a chance to do something super creative, doesn't it? Because we can now put that across the top of there. Come on. I don't want to go that way. I want to just take it to the edge. Alright. It's not liking me doing this. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. We'll make that work for us. We'll put in a little road across there, but we'll connect that right up to the main road there. And we will bring that all the way down here as well, because why not? I guess just be something a bit haphazard and random, because haphazard and random tends to be how I go. I don't want to go too gritty. We've already done the wiggly thing up there too, so we can kind of combine the two techniques, I guess. That's going to be the plan. We'll fill that gap in there with that road. That should work out nicely. And we can put a park in that gap where the holes are, so that will work out good. A bit of a snail section for the F1 fans. Why not? Let's throw that one in there as well, and give that a connecting road out somewhere around there. So that'll give us a nice little base for any house. Can we build some housing here? Well, let us build roads across there. It will let us connect that road up here. It won't, because that slope is too steep. Is that slope too steep? Is there any part of this slope that is not too steep to connect that up? It doesn't look like it, does it? Does not. I mean, I could anarchy it in, but you know, let's not go forcing things. Let's see if we can get up to there. Nope, that whole area is too steep to build on. Is what we're learning as we get a little autosave when we just least need one. Come on, let's get the autosave done. That's never a fun time for any of us. Yeah, I thought I had more space there, but it's fine. That's a thing we can work with. We can make that work. It will be just fine and dandy. On the plus side, it should be such few housing, or such little space going in there, so few residents going in there, that it actually won't make a great deal of difference if we do or don't put any. That's high density, this one. Why would we not? Yeah, it won't make any difference if we don't put any services in. You would think, obviously if they find themselves in need, we're not going to be cruel. We will give them the services, but this should at least give us the housing, or the extra housing that we need to see us through. I won't connect that up to the main road just yet. I think actually what I'll do is I'll put some smaller shops, some low density shops, if it'll allow it, some low density shops in the on the main road there, just so they've got access to those, because you know, just because we're not giving them access to everything doesn't mean we shouldn't give them access to something, right? That feels like the least cruel way of handling that. We'll bring that down the main road there, and bring that down the main road here, and we'll bring that down there, and hopefully that will start to see us get some people move in there, and that should be extra people to come on board. We've got a huge demand for housing actually at the moment. We could do much more with the housing. Let's speed that up, see if some people actually do start moving in before our very eyes, because they do need to, you know, they do need to move in apparently, so we can make that work for them. In fact, while that's doing that, what I might do is I'll build a secondary housing area here on this side of the road, because you know, I can, above all else, it should be, I was going to say it should be less steep, but apparently it is not less steep. Will that work? That apparently works. We can always find a way to add more housing in here if we need to, but let's not connect that up there. Connect that up there. We'll do a full old-fashioned grid here. Why not? We haven't done a full old-fashioned grid in a while, so we'll do a full old-fashioned grid, because that tends to, you know, it gets the most people in with the least hassle, but it is just really not the prettiest thing to look at in the world. We'll bring that right down the middle there. We'll move that to that side. There's going to be logic to this, because obviously I didn't measure it out. You can tell I didn't measure it out, because you'd have seen me measuring it out. What we're going to do is bring just node to node. That should be a good plan. Node to node to node to node. I hope we don't break it too badly. Yeah, it's just all about getting as many houses in here as possible. Is kind of what's going on right now, because we need to fit in a bunch of housing. You can see those are already filling up, the houses we've just built. So there was definitely enough demand for this to be a good idea. Before I go zoning it, I should probably give them a way to get in. I know I'm such a master builder. Don't tell anyone, otherwise they'll all come and see. We'll go high density here as well. Why not? Just a whole bunch of high density squares. If I need to throw in some services in the middle, I can do. Actually, that's not going to be too big a drama. And I will throw in a park just to make this at least a nice place to live. Because why would you not want it to be a nice place to live? I'm going to leave the rocks there. Why not? It'll break up the grid. That's the plan. I know there's a load of rocks everywhere, but we'll break up the grid. And hopefully these squares will fill in when I click on them, because that would be the nicest thing to happen for us. So we've built a whole bunch of new areas to live in. We've built a whole bunch of new places we want to work. Let's throw some parks in there. Oh, I was playing with a park earlier that I'll show you before we end the episode. I just want a small park. That should cover that perfectly, and these guys can have the same thing, because we'll be fair. and then everyone will be fairly happy with their living arrangements, and that should work out quite nicely. Let's just do a square around there. We'll fill it all in, and then hopefully that will just be wide enough to make it. Is, there we go. That's worked out a treat. And then we will just throw in another few shops around the edge here. So we'll throw the shops down this end and down here, because then we can throw a few offices in here for the people who don't want to work in the old dirty industrial area, and also to keep some of the noise off from the highway, because that's always people appreciate when they aren't being forced to live next to a bunch of noise for no good reason. Saying we haven't got enough power to that, but we've got powery roads, we've got power, we have enough electricity. Okay, so that's all filling in. This is all filling in and hopefully should find itself some workers. And the one last thing was, because I've been having a fiddle while we've been waiting for this area to fill in. So let's come round to this area here, and yeah, I built like a little riverfront parky type area here. So we've called it Lake Laurel Gardens. The first thing I did, I was just kind of thinking, what can I do with this space up here, because I've just used it for water pumping, and I want to do something a bit more interesting with it. So I've put some fishing stuff in, and I've put a waterside restaurant. This is a marina. There's a jet ski rental there. I was like, okay, these people need access. Built the bridge. It was kind of a very organic, haphazard process. And I was like, okay, well, I've done the bridge. And I saw I had all this sort of land here that I wasn't doing anything with. That would have been hard to get a road down here to build on. So I thought, you know what, I'll build a nice little park there for people to use, and we can make a bit of money off of it. And it's nothing difficult. It's a bunch of piers, it's a bunch of tables, it's a bunch of snacky things, a gazebo hanging off the edge of a cliff, because that's definitely where you want a gazebo. Yeah, just a very simple kind of thing that, you know, I might even, if I can find a way to sneak that path under that bridge, I might even connect up for here. In fact, you know what, while we're talking about it, let's do it. Why not? Got nothing to do but hang around anyway, so let's drag that under there, bring that up there, and eventually what I will do, I'll fill it in. Let's just extend the park area, because otherwise what I'm thinking of won't work. That is the park thing. We will stretch that out all the way along here, not massively along here, just sort of far enough to get to there. Let's bring it right up to the boundary. Oh, what's that done? It just did a thing, I didn't like it. Bring that boundary up to there, and then what we can do is we can put a little park entrance on this end, and then hopefully people from up here will start using it as well. If we can just scroll back to all our entrances and exits. Is that a side gate? Yeah. So if I drop a little side gate there, and then we'll connect that path up. I think I was using that path all along, so we should be using this path here as well. I'm in the habit of just using regular people paths now, and we'll add a little curve in there, and then I've got a little area up here where I can put actually useful things in the park, such as the park toilets, which I haven't put in yet because I didn't have enough space for them. Put an info booth in there. Just little things, a little calf there for anyone at this end who wants to use a calf. Don't know why it's gone that way around, that was not helpful at all, but we can fix that either by moving it, which would be the easiest way of fixing it, or because we'll just add a little path across the front, and that should solve that problem. Quite simply solve that problem. Right, does that go across there? Of course it doesn't, that will be too easy. Why is it it's doing a snappy thing? I don't want it to snap. There we go, that'll do nicely, that'll work out for us, and we'll put one of these whatever it is in fountain, I'm guessing. Does it say Park Plaza? We'll throw that in there, and that gives us a nice new park area as well. Right, let's have a quick look at Laurel Gardens, see how that's going. We're just waiting for people to come in. They're all entertained sufficiently, we're just waiting for people to come and use it. Right, on that bombshell, guys, I think that's probably time we left the episode. So, as per usual, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you have, please leave a like, leave a subscribe whilst that does whatever that's doing. And yeah, until next time, guys, I will see you very soon. Ignore that. I had a roundabout traffic situation that I haphazardly built a footbridge over. It's fine, it solved it, it's all good, it's fine. Right, like I said, thanks for watching guys, I've been Chasing Lamely. Until next time, have a good one.